So let's imagine that your team has created a spectacular software product and then you've given it to your clients to use. One of the things that you can do to improve your client experience is once they receive your software product is to allow them to submit any support tickets or instances to you so that you can start improving the product and flush out any bugs that are found. The best way to do this is to use a support ticketing system. Luckily, ALMComplete has a support ticketing feature built in, so you can very easily create support pages that your clients can use, and then any ticket that's entered during that process will flow into the defects section of ALMComplete, and then your support team can manage those tickets from within ALMComplete. Your client, on the other hand, as they enter those tickets, can check the status of those tickets online at any time, so they don't actually have to place a phone call to you to find out what the current status of their ticket is. So how does all of this work, and how do you set these things up within ALMComplete? Well, the first thing you do is you go to the defects section within ALMComplete, and then you select the product in which you want to have the tickets flow into. If you'd like for them to flow into a particular folder, and this is a good practice, you can come here and you can add a folder just for your support tickets. Let's do that. Alright, once you do that, you'll notice that this folder now has no issues or defects in it. The second step is to go into the setup area of ALMComplete, expand the system configuration, and then click on the support manager. Notice that we don't have any support managers built in yet, so we need to add one. To add one, simply press Add New Manager. Now you want to give your support ticket management a name. So let's call this our Acme Support Management System. Next, you can describe what this ticket system is, used to allow our clients to enter tickets to Acme. And then finally, notice that there's a project here. This is the Acme development project, which means that any tickets that are entered will flow into this project over here. Next, you can tell it what folder you want those tickets to flow into. If you remember, we just created a support tickets folder, so we want all of the tickets to be routed into that particular folder. The next step, by pressing Next here, is to start to tailor the look and the feel of your support ticket management system. The first thing you might want to do is add a logo so that they can see that the ticketing system is for your company. To do that, simply press the Browse button and choose your logo from the list here. Next, if you'd like to tailor the way the support ticketing system looks, you can also create your own custom cascading style sheet file and associate that with the ticketing system. So that'll allow you to carry over your fonts and your colors and that kind of thing. The next thing you'll want to do is enter the name of your ticketing system. Some people like to call their support tickets. Some like to call them support incidences. So it's totally up to you as to how you want that to be displayed to your client. So we'll call ours support tickets. Next, whenever the client logs in to enter a ticket, you can have a custom banner there that welcomes them to use the ticketing system. So whatever you put in this login caption will be shown there. So we can say, "Welcome to the Acme Support Ticket System." Next, you'll want to put in a support team name. So if your support team is called the Acme Support Team, type that there. So normally people will put in their company name followed by the word support team. And then you can put in your support email. As tickets are entered by your clients, they're going to be routed to a particular email address so that your team is aware that the tickets have flowed in. So this would be the email or distribution list that you want those tickets to be routed to. So in our case, we're going to send them over to support@acme.com. Now, we also saw how we were able to place a logo in here. Whenever the logo is shown on the screen, like this logo here, your client could actually click on the logo and then go to your website. So if you wanted to put in your website address here, and if they click on the logo, it can go directly there. And then finally, we have Allow Attachments. It's a good practice to go ahead and allow your clients to send you over attachments. So that could be screenshots or Excel spreadsheets, that kind of thing. So as they're entering in their ticket, if they want to upload files at the very same time, to allow that capability, simply press this little button here. Then we're going to click Next to start setting up the details of the ticketing system. Once we press Next, we'll see that it has automatically filled in a lot of information for us to allow us to start to tailor the way the support ticket screen is going to appear to our end client. Notice that we're first going to collect a short description, and that's going to go into the title field for this particular ticket, and I would make that a required field. You can also give it a different name, maybe a short description or something like that. And then notice the tooltip. If you want to give your client a tooltip, which will explain how to use that, you can type that in here. You can say enter a short description of the issue you are experiencing. All right. And likewise, we have description here. We'll want to make that a required field. And we can put in here, enter all the details of your issue. All right. Status, we've decided that we're not going to show that on the screen, but we are going to collect that information behind the scenes, and we're going to set that to a new state. So it'll go into a status of new when it comes in. We're going to take that same approach here on assigning it to someone automatically, priority, severity, those kind of things. Once we're done here, we can press Save. Now if you do want to move fields around, you can use this little thing here to move things around, and it'll make it appear on a different section of the page depending on what you're trying to accomplish there. So it does allow you complete freedom into how you're collecting information from your end client. I'll go ahead and press Save, and notice that it has now created my page. Once it creates your support page for your client, notice this URL here, and that will be the URL that you will end up publishing on your website so that your clients can actually get in and enter tickets. And if you want to test this out, simply press that link and it'll bring up your support site. And now we can see that it's done that. Now notice whenever we were setting up the ticketing system, we decided to put in a login caption called Welcome to the Acme Support System, and you can see that it used that preference when it created your website. So let's imagine that I'm your end client and I want to enter a ticket that gets routed to you. I can enter in my email address, because all of your clients will have an email address, and it'll use that to route the ticketing information over to them so that they can then annotate the ticket later on if they want, or check the status. Then your client will log in. Now if they've never logged in before, it'll also collect some additional information from them, like their company name, their phone number, that kind of thing. But if they've entered a ticket at least once, it'll remember that information. Also notice here that it has automatically put your logo here, because in that second step of setting up the support ticket site, you were asked to choose a logo, which we did. And you can also see that if I hover over that logo, I can click that and it'll go to the website that we specified on that setup screen. All right. Now, we also asked it to allow the client to enter in a short description and a long description, and we put in a tooltip here to get them started. So let's say that your client is having a problem printing. Okay. Maybe they're having an issue printing an invoice. And then we can have them specify more descriptive information. When I try to print an invoice, I get an error for 345. All right. If they wanted to attach files like screenshots and that kind of thing, they have the freedom to do that at that point. Once they press Submit Support Ticket, it will then submit that support ticket, which will then flow into your version of ALMComplete. It'll also tell your client here what ticket number has been generated. Now, you also remember that we named your support ticketing system Support Ticket. We could have named it Support Incidents. That would all be changed here based on how you set your support ticketing system up. So it gives you a lot of freedom there. Okay, now one of the things that happens once a client submits a support ticket is it will automatically send to the client a copy of the ticket, and it'll also send your support team a copy of that ticket as well to let them know that it's arrived. And if you remember, when we were setting up this ticketing system, we specified those attributes on this second page. This is the support ticket email address that's going to be sent out. Okay, so what does that look like from an end user perspective? When your client receives an email, it will look something similar to this. It'll have your logo on it, and it'll have all of the details of the ticket that they have submitted. They can also check the status of the ticket by clicking this area over here. They can also annotate the ticket at any time by clicking this update items with additional details, which allow them to annotate the ticket as needed. Now your support team will see something very similar to this as well. Your support team will see the ticket information along with your logo, but they'll also have a couple of additional options. They can send the client a response. In other words, if they would like to communicate directly with the client, they can click that and start to guide the client, and anything they post there will be then added to the ticket as a note. They can also update this ticket at any time by clicking here, and that will allow them to update the status of the ticket. They can also do this directly from ALMComplete. Within ALMComplete, your support team can go to the Defects section and notice that ticket has now arrived in the support tickets folder that we'd created earlier. And at that point, they can begin working this ticket. So they can come in here and resolve it or do whatever they need to do and fill in some of the resolution information here. And then that information then can be updated on the ticket itself. One of the added advantages of using ALMComplete to manage all of your support tickets is the querying and dashboarding capabilities. Notice that since these are going into our defects section, we can simply go to our dashboard and we can determine how many tickets are coming in day by day and how many are resolved. To do that, we simply go to our defect chart, and then we can query just on the support ticketing, and we can see day by day how that's trending. You can also use this same type of approach here for your defect analysis, maybe by defects by priority, for example. We can look at just your support tickets, or we can aggregate everything. We can do the same thing here for defects by severity. So if you'd like to look at just your support tickets, you can do that. Or if you want to see everything as an aggregate, you have the capability to do that as well. Alright, well, this concludes the demo of the support ticketing system. We hope you enjoyed this new functionality. Thank you.